So in the previous video, we set up a teleporter and we can now jump around on our plane here. So I've gone ahead and added a few extra objects because now we will make them grabbable so that we can go and grab these objects as interactables inside of VRTK. So what we will need for this is we need to set up our Boolean actions for grabbing. And to do that, we of course still need the same packages as before. I'll list them on screen here and also put them in the video description, of course. So what we want to do is we want to create buttons for our grips. In this case, we actually have our teleporter button right here that does almost the same thing as we need. So in this case, we can just take our teleporter button and duplicate it. So select it and Control D twice. So now it says teleporter button 1 and 2, and we'll just rename this to grab btn, and we'll say underscore left and underscore right. So now we have left and right buttons here. We just need to set up which buttons it needs to work with. So in this case, for the btn left, I'll go in here into the Boolean action, and instead of teleport, I'll choose grab grip, and it's currently the left hand. So now this one works on that, and we'll take the right hand. We'll change that from teleport to grab grip, and it's already set up to the right hand here. So now we need to tell the camera rig which button we're actually pressing. So if we go to the camera rig tracked aliases here, we unfold it, we can see we have our interactions that we had from the previous example. So in this case, we just need to take the individual controllers, in this case the left one, drag our grab into the grab action for the left controller. The velocity tracker you'll be able to find inside of the SteamVR. So we actually have a velocity tracker here. So if you unfold SteamVR, we can go down here, there is velocity tracker for left and right controllers. So we'll also add a velocity tracker for the individual interactors. This means that if we throw something, it'll actually go flying instead of just being dropped where it's currently hanging in midair. So I'll add these as well, right and left controllers, and of course also the buttons. This is basically all you need to set up a grab action in VRTK. The only thing to do now is to set up the grab objects. So I'll just minimize these so we have a bit more space. So in this example here, I've set up a crate and I've set up a sword. Both of these should be grabbable. So the sword is set up a bit specifically because I have the sword FBX model itself right here, and then I've set it into a game object, just an empty game object, because this is going to be my grab area. So this is where the object itself is going to be grabbed. So what we can do now is we could go into the Tilia, find the interactions interactable here, unfold all the way into prefabs and find the, so under interactables and prefabs, and then find interactable prefab, drag that out into the scene. This will give us a interactable cube. Biggest issue with this is we would have to go in here, unfold the mesh collider, line up the object that we would need, and then of course hide the cube and put our mesh that we want to interact with inside of this mesh container. This is where Tilia actually provides a very neat little menu. So if I just delete this again, let me start by selecting the crate over here. I'll go to my window, go to Tilia, interactions, and it has an interactable creator. As soon as you click that one, you can see you get a menu here saying convert to interactable. If you click on that, you can see that my element out here, my game object, changes from crate to interactions interactable underscore the name. So if I select this one here, you can see I get a few options in the menu over here in the inspector. So if I go to primary action, I can set this to grab action follow, meaning if I grab it, it'll follow my hand around. I can also set a secondary action to be grab action swap, meaning it'll swap to my other hand if I try to grab it with the other controller. Let me do the same thing for the sword fairly quickly. And now if I jump into VR, I'll be able to show you exactly how to grab objects. We will be able to teleport to our different objects here. We will be able to reach and grab them, and we can basically move them around. I could also be pushing them because they are of course rigid body as well as with colliders. I can put it on the table. I can grab the other object as well and move that around as well. And this is of course something that you can duplicate out into multiple other objects. So in this case here, I've just set up two giant stacks of these crates, but also just Unity standard boxes or cubes. So as you can see here, I can move over, I can grab one and I can send the rest flying because it snaps to my hand. I could stack them, I could just move them around, more or less standing on them as well. So playing with Legos more or less, moving this around and of course throwing them around. So that's the basic way to set up interactions inside of Unity with VRTK and SteamVR. And this also concludes our short video series on how to set up basic interactions with VRTK and Unity and SteamVR. So we've set up camera rigs in SteamVR with the tracked alias. We've set up the simulator, and you can also set up a lot of different other camera rigs if you wanted to. So thank you for watching, everyone.